Hi guys, and thank you for taking the time to watch our video series on getting started with SEM Forex. Thank you for choosing SEM Forex as your Forex broker. In our first video, we talked about setting up the MT4 platform, and now we want to take it to the next level and setting up your workflow. So when you pull up MT4, you're going to see a couple things: your market watch window, a navigator window, all your toolbars and the icons associated with those toolbars. We also want to talk to you today about the rationale for creating profiles, and we want to show you the terminal tab. Now, we're going to have a video later that's really going to go into depth about the terminal tab and managing your risk, but since you're pulling up your MT4, it's there, so we want to make sure you know where it is and what it is. But we'll go into more details about that later. So briefly, before we pull it up, again, this is your MT4 platform. We have our charts basically in the middle. Over on the left-hand side, you're going to have your market watch window. Below it, you have your navigator window. And all the way at the bottom is that terminal tab that we will talk about in depth later. So let's pull up MT4 and take a look. So let's start off with the market watch window. Market watch, as the name implies, is a watch list. It is a way for you to get an idea of what's going on with a bunch of the pairs. And the way you basically navigate it, I recommend that you put your majors up at the top. And so if you simply just click and drag, you can move them around. So you can go down and find one of the ones that you like. We always recommend that you have the ones with the dollars up at the top because they are your majors. Even the yen, it's not a major, but it is something that you can pay attention to. But as you can see, just by clicking and dragging, brings it up to the top. Also, if you find something that you don't like, simply right-click on it and choose Hide, and that will remove it from your watch list. And if you right-click and show all, they'll all come back. So as the name implies, Market Watch is a watch list of the Forex pairs. You can click and drag them around and order them however you like. There's a tick chart, but I really don't mess with that much. Underneath the Market Watch is our navigator. And basically, this is where you can find your indicators to launch them onto your indicators into your charts. So you can see I just added that on. Obviously, you want to make sure you have the chart that you want it to active. Then you double click on it and say, yes, I do. And then there's CCI there. So that's how you can add, one way to edit indicators. You can also add them up here, but we'll get to that later. Also, if you have any EAs, any expert advisors, you'll find those in the navigator window also. Down here at the bottom is the terminal tab. Again, we're going to have a more in-depth video when we start talking about managing risk, managing your trades. This is where you can find that. You can also find some news down here and a lot of the messages from MT4. You'll see some stuff going on. If they have any outages, that'll be down here too. But what we really want to talk about is a couple things. Our toolbars. And my advice to you with these toolbars is if you don't need it, get rid of it. So I'm not really going to go over too much about all of these. What I will tell you that is if you right click on one and go to customize, you can add. Notice that when I insert this, it now shows up here. Or remove. And again, it's already cluttered, so you don't want to add anything you're not using. Remove it, get rid of it. You can see in this default setup, when you install MT4, it has these four pairs right there. It doesn't really matter what's here right now because we're not doing any analysis. What I will tell you is that if I double click on it, it can maximize it into the screens. And then this little icon right here in our toolbar brings it all back. It brings back the tiles. So double click, maximize it. You can get a closer look. Click on the tile, brings it back. Now, you could say, hey, as far as my analysis, a lot of times you want to take larger time, multi-time analysis. So if I'm looking at this one right here, the pound dollar, and I can see what was once resistance is now support. That's great. Maybe I want to place a trade. And so because I'm looking at this a larger time frame, maybe I want to go into a smaller time frame. So that's where you can create a profile so that you can jump from different views of the market and quickly make an analysis, because time is money. Sometimes if you're sitting on hands is great, that is a trade, but at the same time, when it's time to act, you need to avoid the analysis paralysis, and you need to be able to jump from your different profiles so you can look at the market from different time frames and see, is this really a good opportunity for me? So the way we can do that is a couple ways. I'm just going to move this over here. I'm going to change this little chart setup here, because it's, again, this is what the MT4 came with. So I just want to add a chart just for the heck of it. The way we do that is we just come over here, say new chart, and let's add the, I don't know, the pound, euro pound. And again, it doesn't really matter because I just want to show you how to save a profile. So it doesn't really matter what's going on here. Now that I've made a change, I'm going to go File, Profiles, Save As, and I'm just going to call it Temp. And there you go. So now let's just say I see this and I'm ready to go look at this in a different way. I can go to Profiles, pull up another one of our profiles, and there they are. Okay, so what it helps is that it's ease of use, simplicity. You don't want to, each time you pull up the MT4 platform, having to add the indicators, having to set up the charts at the different time frames. If you set up the time frames up here, and if you set up the indicators the way that you like it, and then you save the profile, you can now jump, you can navigate from setup to setup the way you want to analyze the market simply, and it will save you time. And it will, by saving you time, you can then analyze the market quicker and make decisions better. So that is our video on setting up your workflow. Set up a profile for how you like to analyze the market. Have your watch list ready so you can quickly look at the market and how you can add your indicators to your charts. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in our next video.